Today I'll be showing you how I organized my art supplies on my new crafting table, upcycling my old spice rack and some glass jars. Welcome back to DIY No Need to Cry with Ivelisse. Hi my crafty fam, and if you're new to my channel, welcome! If you've been a crafty member for a while, then you've probably seen these before. These are the very first art supply organizers I made when I started the channel. I remember how excited I was when I first made them, and although they will always be nostalgic to me, it was time for an upgrade. As you see, some of these are pretty beat up because I never sealed them. I'll be using all new glass jars with wider rims except for this one. This one will get a makeover because it's the perfect size for my pouncer brushes. Let's get started. I love my blue cheetah print jar, but it doesn't match and it's a bit janky. I decided to make the next jar with the same print but only using glitter. Using the exact same stencil I used for the blue cheetah jar, I stamped it out in sections, letting each section dry before moving on to the next. Here, you can see I only have one section left to complete. I lined the stencil with the dried stamps on the jar, making sure everything lined up and held it secure. Once it was secure, using a dry pouncer brush, I finished the last section. You can see when I load the brush, I wipe off all the excess paint. That is key in getting a good stamp. Once I was done, I removed the stencil and let it dry. Using a thin brush, I went over every stamp with glitter paint. And to finish this off, I added chunky iridescent glitter to the middle of each spot. Last but not least is a super cute and cozy looking one. I wanted a soft but elegant look for the last one, and this is what I came up with. I cut up an old sweater that I didn't wear anymore and decoupaged it onto the jar. Make sure to cut it slightly longer than the jar to make sure you have enough fabric. You can always cut the excess off. I covered the entire jar with tacky glue. You want to do this pretty quickly so the glue doesn't dry before you place the fabric. Place the fabric on the jar and wrap it around until it's completely covered. Once it was dry, I trimmed off the excess. Using the same tacky glue, I glued the rest down. I grabbed some white felt and traced the bottom of the jar using a white color pencil. Yes, you will see the mark, but you have to press firmly. I do this so the mark doesn't look awful on the felt. Cut it out and glue it onto the bottom to give the jar a finished look. I also added felt to a few of the other ones as well. I spread some glue all over the rim and glittered it with the fine white glitter. But I eventually add the chunky iridescent over that one as well. I wanted the fabric to have some shimmer to it, and the fine white glitter was perfect for that. I sprayed hairspray over the fabric and rubbed it in. While it was still wet, I sprinkled the fine glitter over it. I did this all the way around, and once I was done, I sealed it by spraying another layer of hairspray over it. Using fabric glue and a pink ribbon, I lined the rim to give it a polished look. And finally, I added 3mm iridescent rhinestones to the ribbon, and that totally completed the look. I'm obsessed with my new jars. These are so stinking cute. The fabric one is definitely my favorite. Which one do you like the most? They were so easy and fun to make. I really hope you guys make some of your own. You could use these anywhere, not just on your crafting table, and you could customize them to whatever colors you want. The sky's the limit. I hope this video was helpful and that I was able to inspire you to upcycle something of your own. Don't overthink it. If you want to make something, just go for it. Art should be fun, not a competition. Besides, it's subjective. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Just remember to have fun, be creative, and make a mess. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to thumbs it up as it helps the growth of the channel and to show your support. If you're new to my channel, I hope you consider subscribing to get updates on future videos. And remember, do it yourself. There's no need to cry.